Welcome to a Vanguard news video without the bullshit. Let's get started. Shiranui finally comes to Vanguard 0 to finally force the remaining player base into playing the physical card game instead, if they don't want to get mocked with the stop hitting yourself meme. Bushiroad finally revealed the abilities of the promo cards that come with the physical copy of Vanguard Dear Days, so players buy them from retail or online stores instead of Bushiroad having their revenue split with Steam or Nintendo. Sword Saint Dragon Grand Grace, while on Vanguard, also gives the persona ride power increase to your back row units. Once per turn while on Vanguard, you can pay 1 counter and Soul Blast to draw a card, then call a card from hand to your central back row rear guard, and that unit can attack from the back row and gets 10k power. And while on Vanguard, you place your central back row rear guard into your soul and draw a card at the end of the battle that unit attacked. With how this card heavily focuses on your central back row rear guard, I would expect that Yuki gets fan art that heavily focuses on her big thick back row, if you know what I mean. Demonic Prison Dragon Emperor Fafnir can only be run with only 1 copy in your deck. While on Vanguard at the beginning of your main phase, your opponent must retire one of their rear guards, then this unit gets 10k power and an extra critical if you did not ride this turn. While on Vanguard, you can place a card in hand into your soul when your opponent's rear guard is retired during your turn to draw a card. And once per turn while on Vanguard, you can pay 2 counter blast at the end of the battle it attacked, and you have 13 or more Dark State cards in your soul to stand this card, but it gets 1 less drive check. If you ever felt useless in your entire life, just remember that this card has the persona ride icon despite only being able to run 1 copy of it. Bushiroad also took extra precautions with this card's wording by making sure that you can't abuse it in premium unless you're mostly running Dark State cards. So Noga still bullshit for now. There were some Monster Strike card news, but as previously mentioned, I won't cover collab sets until Bushiroad makes them feel relevant enough. Not to mention that Monster Strike is Japan only, meaning we English players are being left out. Instead, here's the 2 remaining triple rare cards for Keta Sanctuary and Dragon Empire for DBT07. Knight of Rendering Flash Kerber when placed on rear guard lets you pay 1 counter and Soul Blast to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, then call up to one of them to rear guard if it was a grade 2 or lower unit card, or add it to your hand instead if it's not. Congratulations to every Keta Sanctuary deck and clans. You now have a better version of Knight of the Remaining Sun Henriness, but without the generation break. I would dare to even say that this card is potentially a staple now, especially for decks that can't easily fill up their board. Finally, Meteor Flare Dragon when placed on rear guard makes all of your opponent's rear guards lose their continuous abilities and cannot gain new ones. Then you can pay 1 counter blast to retire one of your opponent's rear guard in the same column as this card. And while on rear guard during your turn, this unit gets 10k power if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or higher and they have no rear guards. Introducing Vanguard's first negate ability. While it only negates continuous abilities, it's still by far the most disrupted effect we got since G guards and heal guards. Turning off an enemy Honoli in premium just made it less likely to be run anymore. And that concludes this Vanguard news video. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments how you're going to shout negate every time you call Meteor Flare Dragon.